The Cavs lost to the Thunder on Sunday for a couple of different reasons. Number one, offensively, you can't turn the ball over as much as they did, especially in the first quarter, and expect to beat the team as good as OKC on the road. Defensively, the Cavs gave up way too many three-pointers. They got beat off the dribble too often, and when they did get stops, they weren't able to end the possession by rebounding the basketball. They were fine in the rebounding battle when both bigs were on the court. They actually won the overall rebounding battle in the game. But when either Mobley or Allen was on the bench, became a major rebounding issue for the Cavs. You can see the numbers there on the screen. And I found a few plays, this one in particular, that demonstrates why the Cavs have struggled to rebound in these one big situations. Take a look at this play from the game against OKC. Chet Holmgren's going to get past Keon Ellis. Mobley goes for the contest, and then Holmgren gets his own offensive rebound. So how does that happen? Well, first and foremost, here's Evan Mobley, right? That's the guy you're going to watch here. As Holmgren gets past Keon Ellis, it's actually not a bad defensive possession from Ellis. Mobley is going to have to step up and try and contest this shot, or else it's a wide open layup. Mobley does, and here's what you need to watch. The ball's in the air. Look at Donovan, look at Naquan Tomlin, and look at James Harden and Keon Ellis as the ball comes off the rim. Guys, that's not going to cut it. Mobley has to step up and make the contest. As Mobley contests this shot, and I'll pause it right as he goes for the contest, Mobley is on this side of the court, the far side of the court. The rebound's going to come on the near side of the court. Yes, Mobley can make a better effort to get from here over to this side, but everyone else on the court needs to rebound. In these one big situations, when a guy gets beat off the dribble, the big man steps up to contest, leaving the other four basically in charge of corralling the rebound. As you can see on this play in particular, just not nearly enough effort from anyone else on the court to go and get that basketball. Next up, the Cavs tried to play a little zone in this game. OKC made 21 threes in this contest. They averaged 13.5 three-point makes per game as a team. So they shot the lights out the basketball, but the Cavs gave up way too many open threes. They go zone on this possession. Kenrich Williams is going to set a back screen on Keon Ellis, which leads to a wide open case on Wallace 3. So how does that really happen? Well, two things to watch, and I want to make sure this is very clear. Every zone defense has its own principles. So I don't know exactly what the Cavaliers' zone principles are, but I can use my own knowledge from playing enough zone to tell you that whatever they are, were not executed properly here. First and foremost, as this ball is swung up top, here comes Kenrich Williams setting a screen on Keon Ellis. It's not good enough screen navigation from Keon Ellis. He has to be more aware, be able to feel the screen coming, and have a better effort to get over the screen than you see on this particular play. It's just way too late. But more importantly, watch Evan Mobley on this play. Kenrich Williams comes from his corner, right? So Kenrich Williams makes the initial pass. This is Evan Mobley on defense here. As the ball gets swung up top, that's when Kenrich Williams goes to make his screen. As he goes to screen, here's Evan Mobley. Guys, there's nobody in the corner. The corner is wide open. That means if you're Evan, sure, you're in help side position in case a drive comes, but that is leaving an Evan who has eyes on the situation, nobody backside. Evan, why are you so far off in this direction when you can see this play developing and you can see Cason Wallace heading that direction? It doesn't make sense. Evan's a DPOY contender, little brain slip, but little brain slips like that lead to wide open threes. Next, here's a little bit of an overhelp situation. The Cavs, trying to stop perimeter attacks, got caught overhelping. It's something that happens based off decisions and based off how teams are playing. In this situation, the Cavs got caught overhelping. First and foremost, pretty good initial defense there from Naquan Tomlin. James Harden does a pretty good job keeping Wallace in front of him, and then Jalen Williams gets the open three. So we'll run it back. Tomlin forces two change of directions from Aaron Wiggins. Good defense. He's going to kick it out here to Cason Wallace. That's James Harden's man. Harden, not known as an elite defender, but guess what? Does a good job staying in front, force him to change directions. And right there, it's a little dump off. Jalen Williams, who circles up, makes it three. I want to pause this at a very particular part here, so I got to rewind for you 1 second. But as Harden is cutting off Cason Wallace, right here, Wallace's hips are facing the sideline. It's a very important factor here because his hips in the direction he's heading. Evan Mobley is guarding Jalen Williams. I know Jalen Williams kind of blends into the crowd. That's Jalen Williams being guarded by Evan Mobley. Mobley now has to make a decision. Do I help on the drive or do I stick to my man? Harden's in really good defensive position here. Once again, Wallace's hips facing the sideline. For him to get back towards the bucket, he's going to have to change direction and cross over Harden again in a tight, confined space. That's really good defense by James Harden. He takes one more baby step and then sets an inadvertent screen on Mobley, which allows Jalen Williams to get over. Mobley takes that one little half step into help position. which then allows Jalen Williams to circle up for the open shot. You can see Mobley a half step slow there because he gave one extra step on help, even though James Harden was in good defensive position. He clears through here, which sets an inadvertent screen, allowing for a late closeout and another Jalen Williams three. And then Mobley's a DPOY player. That's a tough play. That is not an easy play, but he's a DPOY guy. You expect him to make the right reads on those kind of plays. And last but not least, I want to emphasize that you can play really good defense, and good offense is going to beat good defense. And right here, you're going to see that. Sam Merrill on Cason Wallace up top, forces 3 crossovers into a contested lane. Hartenstein comes out, between the legs dribble into an open Isaiah Joe 3. Now, it looks like an open 3. That's actually pretty darn good defense from the Cavs. Merrill forces Wallace here to change directions multiple times. Drives into the lane, into the help. Good job. You can see this is Isaiah Joe in the corner. That's technically Donovan's man. But because Lou Dort set a screen here on James Harden, Isaiah Joe was initially James Harden's man because Lou Dort set the screen with Donovan in help position. Don's going to call for Dean Wade to then pop out and take. That's good communication, really good defensive communication. Where this play kind of gets convoluted is Hartenstein, who's a non-shooter, so Jared Allen, is hanging back in the paint, goes into a dribble handoff and a between-the-legs pass. Because Isaiah Joe's already hit a couple threes, Dean Wade's going to have to trail him over the screen, leaving Jared Allen in a what-do-I-do situation. If he comes up to attack the closeout, Hartenstein's known to fake the handoff, turn the corner, get to the paint. If he doesn't, it's going to be a late contest, which is what he decides, and it's an open 3. That's pretty good defense. It's pretty good communication. At the end of the day, though, good offense beats good defense, and the Thunder in this particular game made some really difficult shots. The Cavs have the Knicks tonight. Can they make some of these adjustments to force New York into some more difficult shots and hopefully into some misses from beyond the arc? We'll see. But the Cavs have to maybe help a little less on the perimeter and rebound the ball better with just one big. And it's not on the big to get those extra rebounds. A lot of the times, it falls on the guards. That's what you should be watching for tonight as the Cavs take on the Knicks at home.